For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile. And the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time. There's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night.
Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast, where we talk about the continual pursuit of the section hiker.
And I'll spread the word, and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come. And we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
I am excited to announce that the podcast episodes that are specific to the Mountains to Sea Trail are now being sponsored by the MST Guide by Pocket Trails. The MST Guide is the most comprehensive app for maps and navigation developed for the Mountains to Sea Trail, providing unprecedented information and ease of access for day hikers, section hikers, and through hikers. Never get lost again. Updated maps with trail route changes and everything you need from parking areas, camping locations, water sources, and more. Available now for download through Google Play and coming soon for the iPhone. Check it out and download today. The MST Guide by Pocket Trails. Follow the lines in the palm of your hand. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. You are listening to Jester Section Hiker, the premier podcast with the spotlight on section hikers. And I'm your host, Julie Jester Gayhart. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode with my trip to the Black Mountains of North Carolina and the story of who explored and found the highest peak in the Western North Carolina area between Elisha Mitchell and Thomas L. Clingman. In this week's episode, I pay a visit to Clingman's Dome to start my quest to hike all 40-day hikes on the Mountains to Sea Trail from the book, Great Day Hikes on North Carolina's Mountains to Sea Trail. I figure this will be a good way to see my own home state and do a little recon for a future section hike of the Mountains to Sea Trail. I hope to bring you all my adventures of all 40 hikes to the podcast as I get out on the weekends, but for this episode, I bring you hikes 1, 2, and 3. But first, a little story about Thomas L. Clingman. On July 27, 1812, Thomas Clingman was born in Huntsville, in what is now Yadkin County. Clingman served as a U.S. Senator and Confederate General and boosted economic development in western North Carolina. The highest peak in the Great Smoky Mountain Range is named Clingman's Dome in his honor. Clingman served in the State House of Representatives, State Senate, and U.S. House of Representatives before being appointed to fill a vacated U.S. Senate seat in 1858. He was the last Southerner to leave the Senate in 1861. During the Civil War, Clingman quickly rose to the position of Brigadier General. Despite his unremarkable military career, he was prevented from returning to political office due to the provisions of his amnesty. Clingman worked to promote the popularity of Western North Carolina, publicizing the region through writing and lectures. For more than 10 years, Clingman engaged in a fierce debate with Elisha Mitchell about which peak was the tallest in North Carolina. In 1858, geographer Arnold Guyot, having determined that what became Mount Mitchell was 39 feet taller, naming a neighboring summit Clingman's Dome for its proponent. Thanks for coming back to the show. And if you are new to the podcast, thanks for joining us. Now on to those hikes. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. It is Saturday morning, September the 26th, and I am coming to you actually from the Mountains to Sea Trail / the Appalachian Trail / the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I started my quest about a mile ago to complete the 40 hikes in the Great Day Hikes on the Mountains to Sea Trail. And hike number 1 so far has been absolutely phenomenal. And I have to say, well, first of all, hike number 1 is 4.5 miles. And the hike actually starts at the Western Terminus of the Mountains to Sea Trail in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, right at Clingman's Dome. So, and then it is about a 4.5 mile hike east to the Fork Ridge Trail, which is right off of Clingman's Dome Road. And I am about a mile or a mile and a half into that hike. But I've got to go back and tell you guys, the drive up Clingman's Dome Road was absolutely phenomenal and some of the best views that I have seen in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And it rained all day yesterday, and I thought, well, we'll be in the clouds, but that's okay. It's not supposed to rain today. But I got to tell you, when we got to the parking lot, and then there's a 1/2 mile walk from the parking lot, actually on a paved surface, up to the top of Clingman's Dome, the sun came out, and the cloud inversion below was absolutely 100% phenomenal. And there was actually hardly any wind at the top of Clingman's Dome, which in and of itself was amazing. So this hike already, about 1.5 miles in, has started off absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so glad I came up here this weekend. The goal this weekend is hike number 1, which I am on now. And then tomorrow will be hike number 2 and hike number 3. So today's hike is a 4.5 mile hike. And technically, I am on the Mountains to Sea Trail hiking east. And I am on the Appalachian Trail hiking north. And if you're familiar with the Appalachian Trail, it would be hiking north towards Newfound Gap parking lot. And so far, absolutely phenomenal. The smell of the fir, the Fraser firs up here in the pine trees, absolutely phenomenal. The ground is wet and it is rocky, of course, but nothing too bad. Just taking time and getting through all the rocks and roots. And I gotta tell you, I am going to be hard pressed to stop at the 4.5 miles, but we'll see what happens. You never know with Jester. So really excited to bring you these 40 hikes on the podcast. Like I said, this podcast, I will bring you today's hike, number 1, from Clingman's Dome in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the Western Terminus of the Mountains to Sea Trail, 4.5 miles to the Fork Ridge Trail, which the Mountains to Sea Trail makes a right-hand turn and leaves the Appalachian Trail at the Fork Ridge Trail and continues east. But hike number 1 stops at 4.5 miles right at the start of the Fork Ridge Trail. So I've got about 2.5, 3 miles to go. So I will catch back up with you guys towards the end of the hike. And in the meanwhile, have an awesome Saturday. It is Mountains to Sea Trail birthday month. So I also wanted to get another hike in on the Mountains to Sea Trail to celebrate their 43rd year of the inception of the trail. And yesterday, the 25th, was my birthday. So I am calling this my birthday hike weekend. And so far, the trail gods have been awesome to me. So I will get back with you guys here shortly and chat real soon. All right, everybody, I am back and I am continuing with hike number 1. I have made it to the top of Mount Collins and now I am heading down. According to the Guthook app, I've got about 0.8 until the turnoff with the Fork Ridge Trail, but I actually wanted to stop and read you a little bit about what the Great Day Hikes on North Carolina's Mountains to Sea Trail book says about hike number 1. So, hike number 1, Clingman's Dome to Fork Ridge Trail, 4.5 miles one way. The book rates the degree of difficulty of the hike as moderate. Trail type is paved and natural surface trail. So I'm assuming they are considering the paved trail from the Clingman's Dome parking lot area up to Clingman's Dome, and then the official start of the trail, which is actually all on trail. And I find this interesting too. So the total elevation gain, if you're hiking east, is 966 feet, and the total loss is 1,373 feet. The highlights are the Western Terminus of the Mountains to Sea Trail, the highest point in the Smokies, and the high elevation spruce fir forest and outstanding views. One thing that I did want to read that I found extremely interesting, that I knew but never really paid attention to until I read it in this book. When you start the hike, it says, for the next 4 miles, the trail passes through a high elevation spruce fir forest, a forest type more commonly associated with Canada than with North Carolina. The dominant tree species here are red spruce and Fraser fir. Unfortunately, many of the trees have been killed by the balsam woolly aldehyde, probably going to get that wrong, and parasitic insect introduced from Europe. The trail stays at or near the ridgeline to cross Mount Love, Collins Gap, and where I am at now, the summit of Mount Collins. So where I am standing, it is 6,188 feet. So just wanted to read you guys part of that from the book, which I find very interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the hike. Oh my goodness. It has been absolutely phenomenal from the start. So the way the trail starts off is you're at Clingman's Dome, and then you kind of honestly meander downhill. It is rocky and rooty, but it's not too extremely steep, which I can see why they rated the hike moderate. And then after a couple miles, you start your ascent to Mount Collins, which is about the same steepness as going down. The climb was not bad at all. And then now I am meandering my way down the ridge, and I think Guthook said about 0.8. And then what I will do is turn off of the Mountains to Sea and Appalachian Trail. I will make a right-hand turn onto the Fork Ridge Trail and continue on the Mountains to Sea Trail until there is a parking area. So my rating of hike number 1, absolutely phenomenal. It is a moderate hike. Anybody can get out here and do this. I mean, just to come up here and smell the pines, I mean, it smells like Christmas up here. And let me go ahead and tell you, you cannot bottle this in any type of candle. So I really appreciate you guys listening. I am not seeing myself stopping hiking today, so we will see where I pick back up, and I will be back with you guys here shortly. Happy trails. All right, guys, I am back, and as you have probably figured out, there is no way I am stopping hiking for today, especially being in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I did finish hike number 1 at the Fork Ridge Trail, and then came back, and now I am heading north on the Appalachian Trail. It was another additional 4.5 miles to Newfound Gap. So it will actually make right around 9 miles for the day, 4.5 for hike number 1 on the Mountains to Sea, and then additional 4.5 going north on the Appalachian Trail. But in this section, about a mile or so before you get to Newfound Gap, there are actually some fence styles, I guess you would call them, that you actually go over. And I wanted to read you this sign. It says, Beach Forest Exclosure. This is one of approximately 20 special sites that have been identified for fencing against the wild hog, a non-native animal that has been present in the park only since the 1950s. This exclosure contains a beech forest community that is unique to the southern Appalachians. It contains an assemblage of native plants and animals that would be seriously impaired by the invasion of hogs. The fence was installed in 1984 in an effort to retain the natural character of the site. So I thought that was pretty cool. I have probably walked by that sign minimally 5 times and never really paid attention. I always thought it was for wild hogs because I have actually seen evidence of wild hogs in the park here over on the Fontana side, and I have seen 2 baby hogs that I actually thought were bears 2 or 3 years ago. So seeing hogs is interesting out on the trail, but I'm glad they're doing that. And I actually hate that they have become a problem. So just wanted to read that to you guys because I think they're actually trying to do a good thing with stopping those hogs from chewing up and killing everything. So yeah, I've got probably, I'm not sure, maybe a mile or a mile and a half to go. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things that I've been meaning to bring up on the podcast. And the first one is going uphill. Hey, how's it going? Good. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, going uphill, out of breath, and all that good stuff. But wanted to talk to you about an item that I've actually added into my pack since, what was it, a week or 2 weeks ago that I did Jester's What's in Jester's Day. And I don't know why I've not done this. I have picked up trash on the trail before, but I have to confess, I have also walked by a lot of trash. Simply, I don't know why. Just walked by it, didn't have anywhere to put it. And that stops now. Because I thought I was going to be able to get away with picking up garbage in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. But that is not the case. So today alone, I have picked up wet, God knows what, nasty toilet paper, people's wrappers that they've probably dropped, not knowing, on the trail while they were eating. And probably the nastiest thing that I picked up today was literally a huge Band-Aid that somebody stuck to the side of a trail sign. I don't know. Anyway, I was hoping, like I said, that I would not have to worry about garbage, that people would be more respectful in the national park, but they have not. And I am glad I have added the 11th essential to my essential items in my day pack. I will also carry a trash bag in my backpack when I go, because there have been several times where I have gotten to campsites and the fire pits have trash in them, or the privies are disgusting. And this summer I actually talked on the podcast about giving back and doing more. And adding in the 11th essential is just a small part. I am also getting involved in my local community. So when I am out on my local trails, I can be more involved in what's going on there and educate locally as well. So I'm sorry, I'm out of breath going uphill. You guys know how I do, going uphill out of breath. But I just wanted to add that in. I hope all of you add the 11th essential to your backpacks, to your day packs. Even when you go out in your local park, every little bit of picking up trash helps. And if people see you doing it, maybe they'll stop doing it and start picking that up as well. So just wanted to add that in. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but lately I have not been on hikes where I have not seen garbage. So, something you guys can do is tag me in your post where you are out picking up garbage and making a difference. And let's chat. Let's show people that we are actually not only hiking and consuming on the trails, but we are also giving back to the trails, whether that's monetarily, whether that's picking up garbage, whether that's doing trail maintenance, whether that's teaching people leave no trace practices, which is vitally important as well. I think we need to start doing that as a hiking community. And I'm just going to be very adamant about that. And we should not be happy when we see garbage on our trails. So I will get off that topic now, but I do hope that you add the 11th essential. Go check out their Instagram site and the website. And again, tag me over on Instagram, Jester Hikes. If you guys see things out there that maybe you want me to talk about or add to our educational part of hiking, and leave no trace. All right, I can start hearing cars. It is such a gorgeous day out here at the park. I imagine Newfound Gap is going to be crazy. And when I get down there, if I see garbage, I will definitely pick it up. But it has been an awesome day. Tomorrow is Sunday the 27th, and I definitely plan on doing hike number 2 and hike number 3. And you guys will hear back from me first thing in the morning as soon as I start hike number 2. I hope you are out. I just realized it is National Public Lands Day. I hope all of you got the chance to go out on this Saturday, September the 26th, and enjoy national parks, long distance trails, local parks, being out with your family and enjoying the public lands, and adding that 11th essential to your pack. And have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll be back to chat with you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, September 27th, and I am actually on hike number 2, and all I'm going to say is bravo. This is an amazing 0.7 hike, and I've actually hiked the 0.7, and I'm on my way back. And my first thoughts this morning were, well, that won't take that long. 0.7, turn around, go back to the car, 1.4 mile round trip. But I got to tell you, there are some special highlights on this trip. So hike number 2 is from the Okanalufty Visitor Center to the Blue Ridge Parkway. And this is actually the visitor center that is on the Cherokee side of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The distance is 0.7 mile one way, which makes it a 1.4 mile round trip. Degree of difficulty, easy. Yes, I will 100% agree with that. But what is packed in this 0.7 miles is amazing. It is basically on packed gravel. And let's see, total elevation gain 0, Total loss, 7 feet. So yeah, pretty easy. The highlights of this trail are historic pioneer farmstead exhibit, Cherokee culture, river views, wildflowers, and wildlife. So I will say, when you start at the visitor center there, the trail is kind of on sidewalk, and you start walking down by some old homesteads. And then this morning, I'm going to tell you the highlight of this hike are the elk. They were out in a field. They were feeding off to the left of the trail in a little grassy area. And as you walk on the path takes you down, and you literally follow the Oconaluftee River. And I hope I'm saying that right. The Oconaluftee River all the way down 0.7 to the Blue Ridge Parkway. And you can actually, kind of walk down to the water on some little spur trails. And as soon as we got down to the water part, you can look across the water. There were elk. We spotted a wren. Amazing. I'm going to say I've probably been out here over an hour, stopping and looking. And this is definitely one of my highlights of the weekend. So highlight for hike number 1 was the amazing weather and Clingman's Dome Tower, getting views from that. And highlight from hike number 2, all the Cherokee history. Number 1, seeing the elk, being able to walk along the water, looking across and seeing the wren on a log. Totally amazing, 100% worth it. And I wanted to read this to you guys to kind of end out the hike this morning. And I will say, along the path, there are these marquees here where I'm standing that give you kind of information. And this one's called Going to the Water. Cherokees believe that water, when treated with respect and handled with proper traditions, can cleanse the spirit and wash away diseases and problems. Going to the water and wading into the river is a sacred ritual for some. Cherokees also practice the ritual today prior to playing stickball, a traditional game that is the forerunner of lacrosse. The Cherokee would go down to the water early in the morning, every morning, wade out waist deep, take the water of the river and throw it up over his head and say, "Wash away any thoughts or feelings that may hinder me from being closer to my God. Take away any thoughts or feelings that may hinder me from being closer to all my brothers and sisters on earth and the animals of the earth." And they would wash themselves and cleanse themselves every morning, and they would walk out of the water. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I walk back to my car to head to hike number 3, I leave you with the thoughts of going to the water. All right, everybody, I have made my way east on the Blue Ridge Parkway to mile marker 451.2, the Water Rock Knob Visitor Center, which is the start of hike number 3 on the Mountains to Sea Trail. And this is actually a hike that's in an area that's called the Balsams, and you will go from Water Rock Knob to Fork Ridge Overlook. The distance is 2.5 miles one way. The degree of difficulty says moderate. The trail type is natural surface and trail, and we'll talk about the natural surface here in a minute. And you actually start at the Water Rock Knob Visitor Center. The highlights are, it says, great views, moderate hike in challenging landscape, and diverse flora and fauna. So I am actually on the day hike number 3 itself. When you get to the visitor center here at Water Rock Knob, there is actually a 0.5 mile. I'm going uphill. I'm out of breath already. Paved trail, well, semi-paved trail. It might be paved for 1/4 of a mile. And then you work your way up to the top of Water Rock Knob. And I've got to say, the stair work from the trail maintainers going up Water Rock Knob was actually amazing. So if you are ever on the Blue Ridge Parkway, mile marker 451.2, it's actually called the Water Rock Knob Visitor Center. There are pit toilets there, and they do actually have a little visitor center if you want to go in and buy stickers or a patch or something. But so took that little 0.5, which is not considered part of hike number 3, but I do recommend you go up there. I did not get a view, but that's okay. It was well worth seeing, number 1, the amazing stair work, and number 2, doing a little recon to kind of see how the trail goes east and west. That way, for future section hiking, I kind of have in the back of my mind directions and all that kind of stuff. So I'm still working. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'm literally starting a series of switchbacks here. And I need to put this book away. But anyway, yeah, I will. So far, I'm about a mile in to the actual 2.5 mile hike. And from what I can tell, it is very well groomed. It literally parallels the Blue Ridge Parkway because I can hear the parkway, and randomly I can see the parkway. And I can go ahead and tell you one highlight of this right now: the leaves are changing. There are some vivid yellows and some faint reds popping out of these trees. So over the next few weeks, as I continue hiking these 40 hikes, I'm really looking forward to it becoming fall, cooler temperatures. Okay, there were 3 little switchbacks there, and now I'm on really groomed trail. So yeah, amazing start to hike number 3. Even the drive from the Oconaluftee Visitor Center on the Cherokee side of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, going east to this area here, the Balsams and Water Rock Knob. Amazing drive on the parkway. So, all right, guys, I am going to carry on with the hike, and I will get back with you, and we will chat here in a second. All right, everybody, I am back and nearing the end of hike number 3. And I will say, as I am heading down to the parkway here, I can hear it getting closer and closer. So I know I'm getting close to the parking lot here where the hike ends. But, oh, just dropped my hiking pole. Hang on just a second. Okay, got it. But I got to tell you, this 2.5 miles, I do agree with the book that the hike is moderate, because when you start the hike, you are actually up over 5,000 feet, and it kind of undulates, but you are literally paralleling the Blue Ridge Parkway the entire hike. And I hate that it's foggy today because I can't see the views, but that's okay, because the hike is gorgeous. I can tell fall is coming. And as far as the footing on the trail, it is rocky, but it's manageable rocks with good foothold. And what I mean by that is when you step on the rocks, you can tell the trail maintainers have done an excellent job of getting those in the ground and really looking out for the hiker And I've got to say, I'm not sure who maintains this section of trail. It must be related to the Carolina Mountain Club or some affiliation to the Carolina Mountain Club. So thank you to the trail maintainers out here. I've got to say thank you to Jim Grody. So far, so good, Jim. Hikes 1, 2, and 3 have been amazing. The first 2 are, centered around the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Hike number 3, you get a good drive on the parkway to get here. And then you're in the Balsams area of Western North Carolina. Hopefully, when people go up the 0.5 mile to Water Rock Knob on hike number 3, they will get a view on that. But if not, like I said, the footwork is phenomenal and it is definitely worth it. So I will end with that. I am just meandering my way down to the parking area. And I do want to say, first and foremost, I am very thankful and grateful to the Mountains to Sea organization, to Kate Dixon and to her crew at the Mountains to Sea Trail organization, and to section hiker Mary Stewart, who since day one when I called her has friended me. And one day, Mary, I will meet you in either segment 9 or 10. And one of these hikes goes through there, I know. So I'm looking forward to meeting you. And I want to end the podcast with a little story about a guy named Les Love. So a few weeks back, I decided I want to go ahead and become a member of the Mountains to Sea Trail organization, because that's what I like to do when I find trails, whether they're local, long distance trails. I like to become a member and give back that way, which is usually, I think you can join the Mountains to Sea Trail organization for like $25. I mean, that's like nothing. And they have various levels of membership and stewardship and giving back and all that stuff. And you can find that on their website. So join the Mountains to Sea Trail organization. And I got to say, about 2 weeks later, if that, I got a phone call from a gentleman named Les Love. And I didn't answer the phone. I don't know what happened, but I got a voicemail. And the gentleman said, "Hey, this is Les Love from the Mountains to Sea Trail organization. Part of my duties as a board member is I call every single person that either renews their membership or donates to the Mountains to Sea Trail. And thank you for doing that, blah, blah, blah." And he hangs up. So I listened to the message and I was like, that's it. I've got to call Les Love back. So I called Les back, and I'm not kidding. We talked on the phone for 30 minutes. And wow, does that gentleman have a story? And he has given so much to the Mountains to Sea Trail, to the Mountains to Sea organization. And he is responsible for, I don't know the whole story, of getting the Water Rock Knob area connected with the Cherokee and getting this to be part of the Mountains to Sea Trail. And I emailed Les and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to be, doing the day hikes 1, 2, and 3. Would you like to meet me out on the trail?" Because Kate Dixon said he would be a great person to meet me and talk about this area of trail. So after our 30-minute conversation, and then Kate telling me, reach back out to Les, I did via email, and he wrote me an email back and said, "I am so sorry. I'm not doing much hiking right now, blah, blah, blah." And he goes into this story, and in this story, he tells me that he broke his leg and had to be rescued, so to speak. He walked off the trail, but had to be rescued, so to speak, while he was out maintaining what I believe is a portion of the Appalachian Trail near his house. that is either no longer maintained, but they're still trying to maintain it and keep it for a certain purpose. And I got to tell you, I hate that hap to less, but you guys, people are out here working on these trails. People that you would never know are out here maintaining and giving love to the trails so we can absorb and we can take advantage of seeing all these beautiful things. So I end this podcast with saying, thank you, Les Love. I am very sorry you hurt your leg, and you did tell me you were following your PT's orders to the T, and I don't blame you for that. But I will say, the next time I'm in this area, I'm going to hold you to it, and we are going to meet and have a conversation, and I'm going to have you on the podcast, and I am really looking forward to that. So, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed these first 3 hikes. As I am able to get out on the weekends, I am going to continue hiking and hopefully get the 40 hikes done and bring those to you on the podcast in between regular guest interviews. I hope you guys start carrying the 11th essential, which is the trash bag, and doing our part as we are hiking to help clean up our trails. And again, like I said earlier, if you're out on your local trails or you're hiking a long distance trail in your state, tag me in your photos, follow me on Instagram at Jester Hikes, and let's chat about it. All right, guys, as always, thanks for listening. If this is your first time coming to the podcast, I really appreciate you joining us. And as always, happy section hiking.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning light. I wonder if you'd wander with me, and I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. You're wondering if I go wandering with you, what kind of trouble we'll get ourselves into. Would it be wrong to tag along with a band of vagabonds? You wonder if I'd wander with you. So I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river. I'm wondering if you'd come wandering my way, if you ever get lost or if the trail leads you astray. The music of the pack can always bring you back. I wonder, can we wander away? And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
When you download the Baker's app, you have easy access to savings every day. Get the most out of weekly sales and receive personalized coupons to save on your favorite items, all while earning 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Baker's makes it easy to save while you shop, whether it's in-store or online, so you get the most value out of every trip, every time. Download the Baker's app now to save big on your next purchase. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.